Hey everyone, Robert here again. I'm going to try another installment here of the devotional activities that I've been going through this year with my church. So the scripture for this week's devotional is of Leviticus 19, or also known as the Ten Commandments. So I'll read that passage, and then the prompt. Today is Saturday. The writing prompt for today is share with somebody what you've been journaling and write down how that conversation went. So I guess I will be sharing what I've been journaling this week and sharing it, and guess I won't know how that conversation goes unless there's, comments or anything. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. So Leviticus 19, this is from the New International Version. And the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the entire assembly of Israel and say to them, 'Be holy, because I, the Lord your God, am holy. Each of you must respect your mother and father, and you must observe my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn to idols or make metal gods for yourselves. I am the Lord your God. When you sacrifice a fellowship offering to the Lord, sacrifice it in such a way it'll be accepted on your behalf. It shall be eaten on the day you sacrifice it, or on the next day. Anything left over until the third day must be burned up. If any of it is eaten on the third day, it is impure and will not be accepted. Whomever eats it will be held responsible because they have desecrated what is holy to the Lord. They must be cut off from their people. When you reap the harvest of your land, do not reap to the very edges of your field, or gatherings or gleanings of your harvest. Do not go over your vineyard a second time, or pick up the grapes that have fallen. Leave them for the poor and the foreigner. I am the Lord your God. Do not steal. Do not lie. Do not deceive one another. Do not swear falsely by my name and so profane the name of your God. Do not swear falsely by my name and so profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. Do not defraud or rob your neighbor. Do not hold back the wages of a hired worker overnight. Do not curse the deaf or put a stumbling block in front of the blind, but fear your God. I am the Lord. Do not pervert justice. Do not show partiality to the poor or favoritism to the great, but judge your neighbor fairly. Do not go about spreading slander among your people. Do not do anything that endangers your neighbor's life. I am the Lord. Do not hate a fellow Israelite in your heart. Rebuke your neighbor frankly, so you will not share in their guilt. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Keep my decrees. Do not mate different kinds of animals. Do not plant your field with two kinds of seed. Do not wear clothing woven of two kinds of material. If a man sleeps with a female slave who is promised to another man, but who has not been ransomed or given her freedom, there must be due punishment. Yet they are not to be put to death, because she has not been freed. The man, however, must bring a ram to the entrance to the tent of meeting for a guilt offering to the Lord. With the ram of the guilt offering, the priest is to make atonement for him before the Lord for the sin he has committed, and his sin will be forgiven. When you enter into the land and plant any kind of fruit tree, regard it as its fruit as forbidden. For 3 years you are to consider it forbidden. It must not be eaten. In the 4th year, all of its fruit will be holy, an offering of praise to the Lord. But in the 5th year, you may eat of its fruit. You may eat of its fruit. In this way, your harvest will be increased. I am the Lord your God. Do not eat any meat with the blood still in it. Do not practice divination or seek omens. Do not cut the hair off the sides of your head or clip off the edges of your beard. Do not cut your bodies for the dead or put tattoo marks on yourselves. I am the Lord. Do not degrade your daughter by making her a prostitute, or the land will turn to prostitution and be filled with wickedness. Observe my Sabbaths and have reverence for my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Do not turn to mediums or seek out spiritualists, for you will be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. Stand up in the presence of the aged, show respect for the elderly, and revere your God. I am the Lord. When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself. For you were foreigners in Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Do not use dishonest standards when measuring length, weight, or quantity. Use honest scales and honest weights, an honest ephah and an honest hin. I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt. Keep all of my decrees and all of my laws and follow them. I am the Lord. So we had quite a bit there, and there is quite a bit there that I think the modern world and the views or interpretations or just seeing or feeling like society needs to progress since the writing of the Bible. A lot of this, I think, kind of gets washed over, or doesn't feel as relevant to nowadays as when it was originally written. But the value and the importance of the commandments is still just as important, even if some things have been skewed or changed or for the modern world. So what I've been journaling about this, because one of the activities is, or the first activity for the week is, picking a passage that stands out to you, and then the next day's activity is kind of expanding into why that passage stood out to you, and then having the next day is talking to God about it, asking those questions, like, what did you mean by this, or what does it mean to you, or just kind of having a discussion with God. So, yeah, what I've been journaling, what the verse that came up, for me, the one that had that kind of stood out to me was, don't go about spreading slander among your people. So it's kind of that gossip or speaking ill of others or trying to change perception, or just at least how I read it is just that negativity or hatred that gets spread when we take issue with somebody or we're hurt by somebody and we want to get back at them, or maybe we have heard something about somebody, or we have a perception of something and we project that on others. So that's important to me, and the reason it's important to me is when you speak ill of other people, or you just get in that negative mindset of trying to just projecting negativity about somebody or about something, it really it not only does it bring others down, but it also brings you down as well. I've noticed as well, because without going into my own journey in life right now, I have frequently been in a negative mindset. Usually I have I'm able to restrain myself from where and whom I speak negatively with or about. But regardless of regardless of whom or reserve, having those thoughts still weighs heavy on me. It is a burden, and it doesn't make me feel good about myself, and it's not what God would want us to do, and it's not the example that Jesus set for us either. It is an exercise for me, just trying to replace negative thoughts or negative feelings. Like, acknowledge why you're having them, but releasing them, not holding on to them. And it doesn't happen, or at least for me, it doesn't happen instantly most of the time, and it's something got to remain conscious with. So that's what I've been kind of journaling about this week, is how to let go of any anger or any unkind thoughts or words that you hold or that you speak, and this that kind of also comes down to another aspect that for me has been difficult, is reaching a place of acceptance of life, of just trusting in God and knowing and believing that we all go through tough seasons. We all have our burdens and struggles, and this trusting that we're not going to be given any burden or any challenge that we can't handle, and that we have God to see us through, and got to put our trust and faith in Him. And I know me personally, won't speak for everybody else, but I know me personally, when things aren't necessarily going my way, or I'm learning a new lesson, or I'm relearning a lesson I didn't get I didn't accept or feel the first time, or learn from the first time. It does cause some resentment and anger, and something my dad actually reminded me of is it's okay to be mad at God. Like, speak to God, let Him know your frustrations, share them with Him. There is not anything that He can't handle. And that seemed kind of odd to hear, kind of scary to hear. It's like, well, I feel like you don't complain to God about God. But God knows us, and He loves us. And it is important for us to have that communication with Him. I know, same with my children. If my children have frustrations or issues with me, I would like them to be able to tell me them. I'd like them to feel comfortable to talk to me, and just really anybody that would have an issue or would want to address something with me. I would like them to know that they can do that. So being a good parent, being a good friend, being a good leader, being a good follower of God, we should be in the same situation where we can be spoke to, where people feel comfortable in speaking with us. So we, likewise, should feel comfortable in airing our grievances, so to speak, with God. And as the more I know there's kind of like this fine balance where we don't want to express hate. We shouldn't be expressing hate or negativity towards others. but it's also unhealthy to harbor or just let that pain or let that anger, let those emotions fester. So we have to have a healthy outlet for them. And speaking with God is a very good outlet to release those things. So that's kind of where I'm at and what I've been working with. I probably went or kind of went on my own thing there. Have a tendency to do that, but hopefully makes sense. I think that'll do it for me for this installment. This was the Saturday devotional, or the writing prompt for Saturday for the weekly devotional scripture. Yeah, I don't know what else to add, so we'll end it here. Thanks for watching.